until you actually see. Joining us now with reaction, Florida Congresswoman Cammack. Congresswoman, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for coming on today. And before I get your thoughts on the bill, I would like to play what President Biden had to say about the ongoing negotiations for his big spending plans. Here's the president.
It's all about compromise. You know, compromise has become a dirty word, but bipartisanship and compromise still has to be possible.
Bottom line, do you think you will get a deal?
I do think I'll get a deal.
And we know the president had set a deadline for Halloween to get his spending agenda passed. But what's your take on the president's Build Back Better agenda and what he hopes to be bipartisan?
Does he actually hear himself? These are the things that I'm wondering. I mean, he talks about compromise. He has been a leader of the free world who has had a zero compromise policy. Him and Bernie Sanders and Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have done everything they can to ram their progressive liberal agenda down the American people's throats and then make them pay for it. This is ludicrous that he actually is out there saying that he's going to compromise. I don't know if he'll get a deal in the end, because up to this point, Nancy Pelosi hasn't been able to get the votes. They clearly don't have the votes in the Senate. And when you look at what this plan is designed to do, it is fundamentally changing everything that we know America to be. It's a free giveaway for everything. It's about equal outcome under this plan instead of equal opportunity. And it's robbing the future of our children and our grandchildren. This plan has nothing to do with building back better. This plan is a blueprint to bankrupt America. And I have been thrilled with the outpouring of support from Americans, Republicans, Democrats, and independents to help kill this deal, because Americans see what this is all about. It's about taxing Americans. It's about making goods and groceries and services unavailable and out of reach in terms of cost. It's about making it so that we are dependent on the government. And Americans at our very core, we thrive on being individuals and that liberty and freedom that makes us who we are. And this plan undermines every single aspect of what our country was built on. Equal opportunity, not equal outcome. And I think that's why ultimately this plan will fail.
Yeah, it doesn't have Republican support, period. But I'd like to turn now to another topic that came up during the town hall event, the southern border crisis. President Biden and border czar Kamala Harris, they've been notably absent, with the commander-in-chief yet to take a trip down. But here's what he had to say during the town hall event last night. Watch.
Do you have plans to visit the southern border?
I've been there before, and I haven't. I mean, I know it well. I guess I should go down, but the whole point of it is I haven't had a whole hell of a lot of time to get down. I've been spending time going around looking at the $900 billion worth of damage done by hurricanes and floods and weather and traveling around the world.
We haven't seen the president go to the southern border. And we've seen record numbers of crossings, 1.7 million, that were recorded by Border Patrol agents. Your reaction to that comment, and what message do you think the president needs to hear in regards to our current situation at the border?
Well, obviously, we know that his statement, it's a lie. He has not been to the border since he has assumed the role of commander-in-chief. We clearly have a crisis on our southwest border. When you have 1.7 million apprehensions, over 400,000 gotaways, historic levels of narcotics pouring across our borders, a historic number of individuals on the known international terrorist watch list that have been apprehended at our southern border. And yet still, he doesn't think it's a crisis. And then he says, well, I think I should get down there. His number one job is national security. It is not going and visiting ice cream shops. His job is to secure the borders, and he has failed miserably in that. And then to tap a woman who says, oh, it's not a problem, and she laughs every time that she's questioned about her engagement on this issue, which, by the way, Secretary Mayorkas, who is the Secretary of Homeland Security, stated in a committee hearing that she is not in charge of border security. There's a lot of confusion going on in this administration, which, again, when you're talking to a president who is really more of a weekend at Bernie's type president, doesn't really know what's going on, I'm not surprised that he's a little bit confused about what's happening on the southwest border. But at the end of the day, He needs to get down there. His number one job is national security. And you don't have a secure nation if you don't have secure borders. And it's a fact. Every town in America is a border town now because of his inaction and endangering Americans all across this country through an open border policy.
Well, the president was very clear on one issue last night in particular, and that had to do with vaccine mandates. Here's what he had to say about that.
Should police officers, emergency responders, be mandated to get vaccines? And if not, should they be stay at home or let go?
Yes and yes. I waited until July to talk about mandating because I tried everything else possible. The mandates are working. The two things that concern me, one are those who just try to make this a political issue. Freedom. I have the freedom to kill you with my COVID. No, I mean, come on, freedom.
Congresswoman, your reaction to that statement and then where you personally stand when it comes to vaccine mandates.
I have to say that is the most insulting, grotesque comment I have ever heard from a president. I actually am a little bit stunned. I hadn't heard that comment yet. And again, as the wife of a first responder whose husband, as a SWAT medic and a firefighter, puts his life on the line every single day for our community, when he is being told that he is not good enough to serve because he is being told he has to get the jab against his will, that is insane. I want Joe Biden to go put on a ballistic vest and go knock down doors. I want him to go and work on a situation where there is a man barricaded holding his children hostage. I want Joe Biden to go on a 17-hour manhunt and wear the badge that so many of our men and women across this country wear every single day, putting their own lives at risk. The freedom to kill you? Are you kidding me? That is absolutely insane. This is absolutely gotten out of control. Listen, I am not anti-vaccine, but I am 100% anti-mandate. This government has no business telling anyone what they should do when it comes to their health. That is a conversation for that individual, their family, and their doctor. And for this man to insinuate that he has the power to force Americans to get vaccinated with an experimental drug that has been rushed through all of the procedures and approval processes, which we are grateful to President Trump for Operation Warp Speed, something which just a year ago, Biden and Kamala and all of them were saying that, oh, I don't know if I'll get the vaccine because it was designed and built under a Republican. The hypocrisy of this administration knows absolutely no bounds, and it's infuriating. I stand with every single first responder, military service member, nurse, healthcare worker that wants to make that decision for themselves. Government has no role and no right to tell people whether or not they need to get the vaccine.
All right, we've got to leave it at that. We appreciate the time today. Congresswoman Kat Cammack of Florida, thank you.
All right, coming